Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
New on Curiosity Stream. Deformed trees, mutated wildlife, and no humans for miles. 10 years after the disaster at Fukushima, see what this irradiated ecosystem can teach us about nuclear fallout on Radioactive Forest. Plus, looking for the most diverse marine life on the planet? Dive into the Coral Triangle and experience a frenzy of wildlife you've got to see to believe on nature's greatest secret. It's all on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Recently, we talked about how it seems like people are expecting to pay for their own meals when they're going out on dates. We talked about that about a week or two ago.
Right.
It's that expectation now that when you're on a date, you know what? You Dutch it. You don't have to pay for yourself. Vicky's been kind of doing that a long time where she's just like, I'll pay for myself.
Yeah, I have a hard time letting anyone do anything for me, but also there's that sense of, well, like, oh, you owe me something. I'm like, no, I don't, because I paid for myself.
Okay, I was wondering, is it more so that you just, because I do know that you don't like people giving you gifts or giving you, like, handing things to you.
Yeah.
You make it difficult sometimes.
I'm trying. My therapist and I are trying to work on it.
But I was wondering if it's also because you don't want to create this unfair expectation that some people might create in their head, like, oh, I paid for dinner, therefore you should, play with my sausage.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like,
the actual sausage at the dinner table.
Yeah. Along with pretzels and stuff. Because I like the
chop
German
it up,
food.
juggle it. I don't know.
I think we've found out why Steve was, dateless for many years of his life.
I would never do that.
Oh, no.
I paid for lots of dates and got nothing in return. And I liked it.
Well, yes, sir. You know what you can do with your own sausage. I'm going to leave this dinner.
Well, get a dessert? No, I've got dessert at home. It's my sausage.
Yeah. We got a woman. Her name is Alex. She's from Wisconsin, and she just tweeted a screenshot of the text that a guy sent her when she ended things after 3 dates. The guy texted, quote, "It's only fair to ask for equal payment from you for the dates that we went on. I paid for both of us each time. I'd say $35 is more than fair for your fair share for your food and drinks. I view you as a fair girl. I hope you'll consider reimbursing me."
Oh, so you complimented her. He said, "You're a fair girl."
And her tweet is going viral, and of course she hasn't sent him any money. You know, it's an interesting thing, because we talked about double standard before, Taylor Swift complaining about a joke on a Netflix show, basically saying, you go through more men than Taylor Swift. And Taylor's like, really? I mean, is that what we're still talking about? Like, that's a thing that we should be making fun of. And I think it's also a double standard if we make fun of this guy. It's like, I
think this guy deserves to be made fun of. I mean,
yeah.
It's at the time, if he felt like he should get, if they go half and half, he should have said something at the time. But to go back and be like, I want that money back, that because our relationship never turned out to be what I hoped it to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's if you wanted to go half and half, you should say something in the first place. If you were willing to pay, then at that point, okay, that money's gone.
Except that the third... Oh, what's that, Vic?
Oh, I was going to say, it's when you offer to do something for somebody, I don't feel like there should ever be any strings attached. That's why I have a hard time accepting anything from anyone, because in my head, I'm like, okay, what strings are attached with this? And the fact that you offer to pay for something, you're doing it out of the goodness of your own heart. And this is probably the same kind of guy that's like, I'm a good guy. Why can't a girl date me? Or why can't I be with a girl? Because you're not really a good guy.
He's a good guy and she's a fair girl.
Yeah, well, you're doing these things because you were expecting something out of it. And when you didn't get it, you decided, okay, well, I'm going to show you my true colors.
Do you think at all there's just the expectation? Because I paid for dates because it was expected. It wasn't like it wasn't like I'm like, oh, I'm going to give you something out of the goodness of my heart. It's like guys pay for dates. That's what I was told growing up. So It wasn't even an option.
There's a traditional way of doing things.
Yeah. So to me, I agree with Vicky. If you're doing something supposedly out of the goodness of your heart, then you shouldn't expect any money back. But with the expectation, which is why I kind of like that we've got a whole new paradigm where it's just like you pay for you, I'll pay for me. But that expectation is just like you're, and that's why I think she's putting it up there, because I think that people are going to laugh at this guy. It's like, dude, of course guys pay for dates. What are you doing?
I do love that the text, I guess, originally started with, "Hi, Alex, I hope you're doing well. Would you mind letting me know what your Venmo is?" So he wants her to Venmo him the money, which I thought was kind of funny as a way of being like, hey, break the ice. What's going on? Give me your Venmo because I'm going to request some cash from you. Now, what if, though, the girl, her name's Alex, like she said, hey, all right, you got the dinner this time, I'll get it next time. And then there was no date the next time.
Oh, so in other words, do you think that's what happened?
Oh, I have no idea. I just think about, like, sometimes with the fella, it's like, I go get dinner with Ted, I'll pay. And he'd be like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, you get next time. But, like, what if our friendship ended?
Oh, right.
Do I have a right to text Ted and be like, Ted, we were supposed to have one more dinner, and it was yours that you're supposed to pay, so I'd appreciate if you Venmo me the money that we would have spent on this dinner.
That would be cool.
I feel like such a goober doing that,
You couldn't even finish that sentence, Steve.
I just would feel so weird texting. It's got to be coming from a place of anger. Like, he's mad that this relationship didn't turn into anything. It's like, I paid for all these dates. I'm going to send her an emotional text.
Look, you're right. It's petty. It's $35. I think any normal human being goes, all right, I'm going to chalk it up and just move on. Because what are you going on a date for? You know, you're looking for the love of your life, and that's surely worth $35 to take that chance in my brain. So I would chalk it up that way, going, well, hey, listen, you know what? Someday I'm with all this money's going to add up to something. I'm going to find the right one, and I'm going to be glad that I spent all these money. But I will say this for Alex, the girl, by the third date, because it ended after the third date, don't you think she knew by the third date that she was going out again and he's paying for her, that she had some inkling that this wasn't going to work out? Unless something happened on that third date where she's like, he's a great guy. And then maybe he said, would you like to play with my sausage? And then she's like, okay, I'm out.
I don't know, man. Like, it's been so long since I've been in the dating world, but I remember there were times after our first date, I'm like, this is good stuff. And then the second date happened, I'm like, this is not the same person. Like, maybe the guard went down or the true colors finally came out. And maybe it was one of those situations. I can't think for either one of them.
This is date 3, Steve.
Yeah.
I got to be thinking, by date 3 as it begins how you're feeling about the person. So to end it after the third date, I'm kind of like on his side. Like, why did you go out and let me pay if you ended it at the third date? You had to know we weren't clicking. It's like, he's only asking for $35. I got to be thinking that's just that last date, right?
I don't know. Or maybe we're learning that Alex is a rather cheap date. If it's $10 a date or $12, whatever the math is.
Yeah, $35 is not a lot of money for a date, really, when you think about it, for one person.
All right, so I'm single, and my friend had an interesting strategy that he had me try out, and it did not work, and I do not recommend it.
Okay, Joe, what is this?
Let me get your guys' opinion. He would only take women out to restaurants that he had coupons for instance, like Red Lobster, and at the end of the date, if he did not have a good time or thought it wasn't going anywhere, he'd break out the buy one, get one free coupon, and instead of just paying for her, he'd get a meal to go. That way the date would always be a success, regardless of whether he liked it or not.
I love this guy.
I'd go on a second date with him. I think that's funny, but I'm not a girl, so I don't know.
I tried it, and let me tell you.
You did try it?
I did try it, yes. I went to Olive Garden. The breadsticks were already free, and she was not happy when she found out she had to pay, because I was not feeling it.
So would you have paid for the date if you were feeling the date?
Oh, yeah, and I would not have used the coupon.
That's an interesting. I wonder if that's something you need to say ahead of time. Like, it's all of a sudden everything's become a reality show. Like, hey, if this date goes well, I'm paying for it. This date doesn't go well, you're paying for it. Your half.
And I'm getting some fettuccine Alfredo for the road home.
Right, but consider those breadsticks, they're free.
That's the thing. Not everybody's Vicky. I think that's a brilliant move because there's an expectation. Not everybody's Vicky that says, hey, man, let me just, 50-50 this. There are a lot of people that believe the dude should pay, or at least one person should pay. Well, whoever it is, somebody's always got to pay while the other one goes, you're going to treat me.
See, this is why I'm so glad I'm not in the dating world, especially in 2021. Well, for obvious reasons of there are lockdown and all that crap. But there's so many changes to the way, at least back in the day, there was a traditional way of doing things. Whether you agree with it or not, you kind of had it in your head. I'm paying. Now you don't know. Am I going to insult the girl if I offer to pay? Is she someone that's going to be like, I'm a woman and I can do it myself? I don't know. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm really glad. I'm going to have to thank my wife for putting up with me.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to worry about this again.
I don't envy anybody trying to figure it out now, Steve. There's so many new parameters to dating and what it's all about and what it means, and it's insane.
All right, how about this one? Someone has a question for Vicky on the text line. I had a friend who was really into a girl, went out with her, and then sent her a bill the next day for her half. He thought it was fair. I told him he totally just lost all chances with her. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to split the bill or her, you should have done it the night of. Unless she said, oh, you know what, I forgot my wallet and Charlie, I'll send you money later or something. But yeah, you're not getting laid for that. It's not a good look. You should have done that at the dinner.
Oh, okay. At the dinner, you got to make that good. See that?
Yeah. Maybe it should be the waiter or waitress's job.
Oh, they come
up and say, hey, so what are we doing here? Are you guys going Dutch? Or how's this date going? All of a sudden they become a mediator for the relationship.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a good idea.
It's a terrible idea.
I love that idea. It's not like it wouldn't be the first profession we ask people to go beyond their station. We ask the police department to be therapists. Why can't we ask our servers to be therapists and go, let's just mediate this? What do you think about negotiations?
So I have a simple rule, and it's pretty simple. If I ask someone out, I'm paying. If I get asked out, they're paying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's actually very fair. I've done that where I've gone out with a dude and I'll pay for it and just say, hey, we're gonna go get drinks after this. I'll pay for this because I invited you out. If you want to pay after that, that's totally fine.
Oh, so you do have so that's another rule. So it's not 50-50 when you say that.
No, but then the next time around, I'm like, hey, you want to get drinks later? You can pay for those. We discussed that out or that. That makes sense.
See, it's all Steve, you're right. There's
too many rules, and then no one's can.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
But there's a thing called communication. So
that's even crazier. You want us to have a conversation about financial stuff,
right?
So let me ask this. Let me ask this because nobody's pointing out this big elephant in the room.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so the guy we think is a jerk. But now he's all over the country. Who knows if we're the only radio station or anybody talking about this guy because she put him on basically social media blast. But I don't think that's cool.
In all fairness, all it shows on her screenshot is the initial CK. So that's his first and last name, and then she crosses out the phone number.
Wait, it's Calvin Klein?
It's Calvin Klein. Yep.
It is Calvin Klein.
Yep.
I knew
or Chris Kringle.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was going to say, ever since Back to the Future, that Calvin Klein kid, I knew he was up to no good.
So, is she really, the only person that knows is him?
Well,
it's not like she's outing him and showing a picture of the guy. I'm not too concerned
Or maybe
about
the friends. How about maybe the friends go, dude, that's you. That's that Alex chick you did. Maybe nobody knew, but maybe in the friend circle. I'm not for it. I think she's just as much of a jerk as he is for basically going, look at this.
Well, I think she could have been way more jerky because there's zero pictures. There's there's just two initials and there's no phone number.
And if the friend group sees it, it's like, hey, isn't that the chick you went out with and those are your initials? And he's embarrassed by it. Then he knows he did something wrong. Well, otherwise, why wouldn't he have told his friends?
Yeah, he's like, damn right, that's me. I'm still waiting for her to get back to me.
Okay, so we don't think that, her putting it on blast like that. I mean, because she could just leave it alone and not tell anybody.
But what fun is that? You want likes and retweets these days. Isn't that what life is about?
Gotta be those internet influencers.
I forgot all about that. You're right, guys. You know what? I'm a horrible person. I didn't realize that she's really been the one hurt here, and at least she's getting something for getting her likes, and getting validation. You're right. Well, imagine this. Imagine buying something at a yard sale for $35, only to find out that it's worth $500,000. Yeah, this happened. I'll tell you all about it at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
New on Curiosity Stream. With superior armies comes superior weapons. How has innovation mechanized the battlefield? From bullets to battleships and everything in between. It's machinery of warfare. Plus, from the gross to the gourmet. See how that in-flight meal lands on your tray table. On secrets of your airline food. It's all on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Imagine if you could sell your home and get paid twice. With Orchard, you can. It's simple. First, Orchard makes you a cash offer on your home. If you accept it, here's your cash. Really. Then Orchard handles the rest. Painting, repairing, listing, and showing your home. And when it sells for more than Orchard paid you for it, you get to keep the profit. Learn how to get paid twice for selling your home. Visit Orchard.com. It's the new way to home.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. So there's an old bowl, just like a bowl, that sold for $35 at a yard sale in Connecticut last year. And turned out to be a porcelain bowl that dates back to China's Ming Dynasty of the 15th century.
What?
Ooh. Wow, you're at a yard sale, you just picked this up, 35 bone, you're like, all right, sure, it looks pretty, and for 30, they probably thought, this is a really pretty looking bowl for $35, sure, why not?
Yeah, I remember my mom having bowls that look kind of like that, and you know, we just have them for when we have like soup or something, but they just almost look very unassuming, though.
Yeah, it's a white bowl, and it's got like, you know, the blue painting marks all around it, and yeah, like you said, Steve, I would look at this and go, yeah, this looks like any bowl you'd get at a, you know, looks like an old person's bowl. Like,
yes.
You know.
Grandma
like
had that.
Yeah. And turns out it was Grandma back in the 15th century that had this. Wow. So this bowl is that old, and they're expecting it to get up to $500,000 later this month at an auction.
That guy. I mean, you always hear about people saying, I got this thing that's worth $50. I only got it for $5. This guy's, he beats everybody. I don't think you'll ever find something that expensive.
He apparently knew what he was like, that he stumbled onto something valuable. Yeah, he immediately sent photos to auction specialists who confirmed his hunch. And an in-person inspection traced the blue and white bowl back to the 1400s. And the auction says only 6 comparable bowls are in existence right now. Wow. $500,000 he just got. Do you go back to the yard sale people, give him anything? Or do you just go too bad?
No way. I almost would. I would just be like, hey, here's like an extra couple $100. But then also I feel like I'm like rubbing it in their face. Like, you know, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I would want to do it as a nice gesture, but I worry that that's only going to depress them even more. So is it even worth doing a nice gesture? Because if I go up to them and be like, hey, remember that bowl you sold me for $35? I wanted to give you, it was worth more than that. So here's $500. And they'll be like, that's so nice. How much is it really worth? I'm like, $500,000. See you later. You know, like.
Well, we've seen pictures of this. It's all over the, you know, it's definitely in the news services, which means there's a chance the yard sale people could see this story and go, that's our friggin' bowl.
Would you like reach out to that person like, dude, sold you the wrong bowl?
Yeah.
Like try and like pull like we accidentally sold the wrong one. We had a replica. Yeah. And then you quickly make one that looks like it.
Yeah, exactly.
In pottery class.
I told my wife not to put out the real Ming Dynasty bowl, just the replicas. Oh, dude, I think I would have to split it with them, or not tell them at all. That's the only way you could tell them is you split it with them.
I think I'm not telling.
Oh, well, mine is $35. So I'd give them like $249,000, whatever, you know, and then the 30, you know, and keep the $35.
Well, look at you scamming them for that extra $35.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to give away those. Come on, then I'm out. You know, I mean, if I give them more than that, plus, you know, then they get the 35. Come on, they got to give me that back.
How much do you think would make them feel like, okay, we didn't get $500,000, but because I mean, you're saying $250,000. I almost feel like even if you gave them like 25 grand, they'd be like, "Whoa!" I would be still pretty pumped. They're like, "Stupid me for not realizing this," but I got 25 grand. That's pretty awesome.
I'd be pissed. I'd be
mad
pissed.
at yourself.
Yeah, because it's like, look, this was an amazing find that you wouldn't have had if not for me. Why don't we 50-50 this? Because $250 is still a good amount of money to get for when you're just walking into a yard sale and picking up something.
It's a weird dilemma to think about, though. Like, like I guess it's like an ethical thing. Like, do you think that it's worth, like, I mean, you weren't trying to scam them. You paid what they asked for. But if you know in the back of your mind that this is definitely worth a ton more, are you taking advantage of somebody? I feel like I am. I mean, Rev's saying no way. Rev's like, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that find. It's like the cool part about it. And yeah, you reap the rewards. You're a treasure finder. It's like the same thing when I've like actually been watching Pawn Stars recently, and people will bring in things that they think are like fantastic, amazing, heirlooms from their family. And it's like, no, that one's a fake. But then they have another little item that is actually worth like $15,000 and they're stoked about it. But the pawn guys are only giving them like $3,000 for it, for what they're doing. So it's just, I don't think that it's anything wrong with it.
Wow. So yeah. So and Vicky, yes or no? Would you just keep it and run?
I think that if I would feel really bad if I knew, I'm like, oh, that thing's going to be worth at least a couple grand. I think I would feel bad. But if I didn't know, and then later I'm like, let me just check for fun. Like, I feel like I might give them something, but I'm not giving them half.
See, I feel like if you give them anything,
no.
I mean, it's nice to give them something. What would you give them then? See if it's a good enough price. I mean, I'd take it, but still be mad at you probably.
I think about the same with Steve, maybe $25,000.
Oh, I'd still be mad.
That's life-changing.
I didn't say I was going to give him that. Like, I'm not giving him crap.
I already gave him $35.
Yeah.
You're good, guys.
That
I
price.
gave them the peace of mind knowing that something was taken out of their house because they wanted to
right.
probably create more space in their home in their cupboards, and it's not my fault that they didn't know it was worth $500,000.
$25,000 is life-changing. I feel like that's still, like, you can pay off a lot of debt. You can maybe buy a car. Like, that's a pretty good chunk of change.
If you found $500,000 of somebody's money and you go, this is not my money, you'd probably want to, and then you could find out who to give it back to. Then we would like, oh, this is their money. We got to give it back to them.
That's totally different.
But I mean, it's still $500,000 that was theirs. They just didn't know.
They didn't put in the research. That's their fault. The fact that I could recognize that thing is worth $500,000 is good on me.
And we don't know what the backstory is behind. How did they even get it? Did they pay? Obviously, they didn't pay a ridiculous amount of money to get this bowl. I mean, if we trace it all the way back, quite possibly somebody in their family stole it from someone over in the Ming Dynasty and took it and brought it back to America.
Totally.
Okay. Well, we are justifying theft. I appreciate this.
It's not theft. I paid. I didn't steal it. I paid what they wanted.
So
how is that theft?
So if it happened to you and it was your thing and you had no idea it was worth this much, I mean, really, you'd be like, well, I guess that's it. I guess they get it and I get my $35.
I got what I asked for.
I would be so upset. I'd be like,
I'd be mad at myself. I wouldn't be mad at the person that bought it.
Wow. Well, the fact that they could like 50-50 and everybody would like, that would be a nice windfall for both of us.
It goes back to the whole lottery thing. In a way, this guy won the lottery. Like, let's just say, like, all of us in the room were like, let's all chip in $5 to buy lottery tickets. So I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not chipping in $5. Screw that. You guys do whatever you want. I'm going to buy my own tickets. My tickets get nothing. You guys win millions of dollars. Yeah, I'd be mad and you guys are like, well, we're not giving you any money because you didn't donate. I would be mad at myself. I wouldn't be mad at you guys. I'd be like, I'm such a freaking idiot. I should have donated. I should have put in money in this.
But if the ticket was at your house and then you're like, you know what, take this ticket, I'll go get my own ticket, and it was one that you bought and then that was the winning one, I would feel bad. Like, wow, if Steve just like if I said I don't want to go to the store and get a lottery ticket, you go, you know what, I bought this one, take this one, BJ, I'll go get another one, and you're still not in and you got your own ticket, but the one you gave me, I would have to split it with you because it was originally your ticket. That to me, I hope I'm
but
saying
it wasn't
this
a
now.
handout. It was they bought the thing. Like if you paid for the ticket,
$35, baby. Woo!
I'm also thinking, like, because they haven't really figured out how they ended up with this thing, like the people before the person who bought it. like if it was a family heirloom, I would feel really guilty and would want to give them some money. But if it was like, hey, my grandma saw it at a flea market or something and bought it because she thought it went well with her decor, then I wouldn't feel so bad.
And for all we know, they were like, Grandma bought that for $5 and we just got $35, this sucker. They might be making fun of the guy who paid $35 for the bowl.
All right, so I better make sure to never have any of you at my yard sale.
Well, one person says with your mentality, BJ, you're more than welcome to shop at my garage sale anytime.
Well, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, I just feel like, man, $250 is still good enough. I would like to believe that's how I would act. Now, if I actually found something for $500,000, would I actually do it? I hope I would, but I can't guarantee it. At least you guys are more honest than I am. I'd like to think I would. So, big news, I think. Reese's has just announced a new type of peanut butter cup that are all peanut butter, no chocolate. We heard rumors of this.
They've answered my prayers.
We've heard rumors, and now it's true. There's going to be no chocolate at all. It's a peanut butter shell with peanut butter filling.
This is amazing, dude.
They'll be in stores next month.
Every night at dinner when we say our prayers, I end it with, and please, God, can you give me the peanut butter, Reese's peanut butter cup without any chocolate?
I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, I feel
it's going to go in my belly. That's where it's going to go. It's going to go in my mouth and then eventually work its way into my belly.
Well, it's a peanut butter outside, but the peanut butter inside.
This is amazing.
Isn't that just a spoonful of peanut butter then at that point?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
This is for people who don't like chocolate but love peanut butter cups because of the peanut butter inside of it.
Yeah, I guess. But, all you're tasting, I'm wondering which peanut butter you're not going to taste. Because you can't taste both of them, I don't think. Maybe you can. That's what I'm wondering.
I'm more than willing to find out.
Okay. Well, next month we have to wait. So we have to wait till April.
Do we know anyone? Can someone get us like an advance on this crap?
Yeah, that's who I want to know is the peanut butter hookup. I already passed on a $500,000 Ming Dynasty thing. You want the peanut butter hookup. Okay.
I'm very excited about this, man. I love peanut butter cups, but I don't eat them a ton because after a while I get I'm not a big chocolate guy. But I do love the peanut butter inside of it.
And this is a really good excuse to eat as many as you want because peanut butter is healthy, right? Protein.
Oh, yeah.
You can eat a bunch of these. You're just being healthy.
At least a whole bag before you have to worry about your weight.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got the protein. It's good, right?
I feel like you guys really have your own way of explaining bad behavior.
Yes.
I mean, you're cheating people out of thousands.
I'm not cheating anyone out of anything. We had a transaction and then things that happened were good.
And then you're going to go and eat all the peanut butter cups you want and tell your doctor you're going to tell your doctor you're fine. Tell anybody you got to confess to I didn't do anything wrong. All right. That's how you guys are living.
The good life.
Right.
Yeah, that's with $500,000 and all peanut butter cups, that is your good life.
Now I'm looking at, I don't know why that sent me down the road of wanting to know what the cookies are. I crumbled cookies for this week because every week they change. BJ.
Why would you do this?
I don't know, because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Okay.
But they have a Reese's Pieces warm peanut butter cookie with Reese's Pieces candy this week.
Ooh.
I like that.
Now,
one.
is that still too much chocolate, or are you okay with that?
That's minimal chocolate. I'm okay with that. Minimal chocolate. But there's actually, the only chocolate in this is would be the little bit of candy, the chocolate coating on a... The Reese's Pieces have chocolate?
I feel like that's a chocolate coating.
It's a little chocolate coating. So yeah, I'm okay with that, BJ.
You're okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, fine. It's just good to know where your levels are.
They have a chocolate cupcake cookie. Ooh. A lemon glaze, which
that sounds good too.
Very naughty.
Lemon glaze with coffee. That sounds really good.
Right.
Why would you go down this road? Why?
It looks deliciously bad.
Yeah. Should have been a BJ.
Did you guys know that Tim Allen? Don't show me that. Don't stop showing me things, Vicky, that I don't want to see.
What about the birthday cake featuring Oreo cookies?
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And breaking news.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're breaking records and putting out new store openings all over the country, including the one in Marysville and Richland, Washington. So there's 2 new ones opening up here in Washington.
They should be thanking us for this excitement about the crumble cookies.
Where's Richland? Because that's nowhere near me.
No, probably not. Come to Marysville.
Okay, I think I'm going to,
They owe us something for this. Right? This is all our doing.
Yeah, look, I can't complain because I still got my Met Market. They got.
But we're terrible at this product placement thing. Most people, when they do product placement, they get paid for it. We just randomly show love to places, and then they get successful.
I don't understand.
I'm kidding, of course.
And it's near Kennewick, so south.
Oh, that's very south.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's funny. We're watching. You guys are going to make fun of me for this one.
Here we go.
We're watching on Peacock the Punky Brewster show.
Oh, the new one?
The new one?
The reboot, yes.
And is it?
It's super cheesy, but it's super entertaining. I like it a lot. You know, it's nostalgic because I loved Punky Brewster as a kid, and they actually have done a good job of. The stories are fun, but they are just giant product placement whores. Oh. Like they had a segment where they were like in a car, and they're all in the car, and my wife even noticed like the next commercial that played was for that car. Like they just make sure, but then they have one point during one of the shows where they're singing about ice cream, but they refer to it as, "Hey, give me a bowl of Breyers," and I'm like. You got to be kidding me. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And next commercial on the show was for Breyers ice cream.
It is so weird because we've talked about this before. There was a time where people would want to show their characters in movies like drinking a product instead of cola. They'd be like, look, they wouldn't be drinking cola. It would be a Coke or something, but you couldn't use the product. Like the company would be mad if you used their product in movies and television. Now it's so reversed.
Yeah, because some shows are like they blur something out. Like we're not going to, but now, man, yeah, they are clearly making their money from product placement. So now it's kind of a fun thing on the show is to watch and see when are they going to like try and creatively work a product into the premise of the show.
Oh yeah, I see that with Mr. Mayor because Alexa was used a lot in Mr. Mayor with one of the characters. So yeah, you're right, man, and we're doing our thing and not getting paid a dime.
But yeah, you know, if you were a fan of Punky Brewster growing up, I think you would get a kick out of the show.
So you're okay. So you're endorsing it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Is it because there's a wrestling episode?
I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Oh,
Ronnie. Well, thanks, Vicky. You just spoiled it.
Spoiler alert.
I didn't tell you what happens in it. I just tell you that there's wrestling involved.
We're only 3 episodes in.
Yeah. I bet that's probably the surprise, though, Steve. Sorry. That's Vicky for you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys. First you spoiled Grey's Anatomy, and now you spoiled another high-end quality men's show like Punky Brewster.
Let's be clear. BJ spoiled Grey's Anatomy. It was not me.
Yeah. Let's be clear. Yesterday, Steve Brewster, he got this one wrong.
What gas makes up the most of the atmosphere of Mars?
Oxygen.
No.
Nitrogen.
No.
Methane.
No.
I love the fact that you'd think we would be on Mars if most of the gas on it was oxygen. We'd probably be there by now.
Yeah, right?
Hanging out, having a good time. The correct answer is the opposite of what we like to breathe. Carbon dioxide, my friends. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:48 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I figure out who my creditors are?
People a lot of times have had a long time of not having good credit and having collections, and so they're concerned that you may be concerned that you won't be able to find all your creditors if you file bankruptcy. How will I know which collection agency has my credit card bill from 10 years ago now? And that's something that's hard to keep track of because credit collection agencies transfer your debts all over the place. But we will pull all your credit bureaus, and by getting all 3 of your credit bureaus, we'll be able to tell who has your credit and debt now, which collection agencies have had it in the past, and we'll make sure that we file all your creditors when we file your bankruptcy so that nothing slips through the cracks.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.